Hello everybody, it is Joel and Tim from Silver Arrow Cars, and we're out in our 2007 Toyota Sequoia Limited. If you know these cars, or these SUVs, and you know anything about some of the Toyota 4x4 stuff coming out of the late 90s and early 2000s, you'll know that this was the first generation of the Sequoia into a lot. This was a coveted model year range, so they started these and ended them by 2007. They came with a V8. They were a 7-passenger. The 4-wheel drive system, the space, the styling on the outside, they're a pretty favorited SUV for people looking to do either Overland conversions or people that just want a V8 7-passenger vehicle that isn't a Yukon or a Suburban, etc., etc. We have a client that's a bit of a nut. He's had 3 of these. This one out of the 3 that he owned was his favorite, and he kept for the longest period of time. And this is the one that he chose that he wanted to do some modifications on. So this is one that we installed for him, a larger wheel and tire package with some bronze Blackhorn wheels. We ended up using an all-terrain Falcon Wild Peak tire. That is an all-terrain with a snowflake rating. And then we installed a 1.75, or simply put a 2-inch Dobinson's lift kit, and that included new struts front and rear, or new struts in the front and shocks in the rear. And then we did new coil springs front and rear as well. He decided that he wanted to take this on a couple fishing trips and that he wanted some accommodations. First he was looking at sleeping inside of it, and then convinced him that no, he should have a tent on the roof. So we bought a tent brand new for him. It's a Magellina, can't remember the model of it, but you'll see it in the auction. It's probably one of the top retailers for rooftop tents. I think it was one of the originals as well. I think that was around $6,000–7,000. Thule crossbars to the factory roof rails, and that how is mounted and was mounted. And we probably put that on probably less than a year ago. This is the limited trim level. The one feature it doesn't have that a lot of the limiteds did was the self-leveling suspension that you would find in the center console there. That allowed a simpler procedure to be done to install the lift kit and get that extra clearance and give it a bit of a beefier ride. The Dobinson suspension has a really good ride to it. They're very well known. They're a company out of Australia. It's very much like Old Man Emu, if you know that brand. That's owned by ARB. But rides quite well. The improved stability with the new springs and struts is pretty impressive. That wasn't all that he finished up with. He wanted a modern head unit. It had the factory original head unit. I believe we still have that. So he had our audio shop install this Kenwood Android Auto and Apple CarPlay head unit with his charging phone mount on the dash there. He installed a backup camera to go along with it, but it has the automatic climate control in the front, has the automatic climate control back in the middle section here. Some of these had captain's chairs in this second row. This one has the bench, and then it does have the additional 3rd row folding seats in the back, much like they did in the Land Cruisers and the Lexus models. It's got power everything, so you've got power windows, power locks, keyless entry, automatic climate control, power moonroof, power rear window, that's a slider. I think that was the majority. That was the majority of the option that they put into the limited. Tim was just hitting the gas. One of the very desirable things about these is the fact that it is a V8. It isn't a V6 like a lot of the other Toyota products of this era and size. And overall, it's in great condition. I believe it to be original paint. We'll add some paint meter readings to it to confirm that. But we also had the vehicle, he planned on keeping this for quite a long time, so we had the entire vehicle dry iced, cleaned on the underside, and then resealed with a product very similar to Cosmoline, and you'll see that in all the underside photos. There was, as I recall, zero concerns with rust or even surface rust. I believe it's nice and black, and then you'll see all the aluminum on the underside. Tim, how does it drive?
Drives good, and I don't know if you remember, but we had our mechanic Jazz Tourer go through it, and the next service due, it says, is 108,757 miles. It's at 104,852 now. So it's been serviced up. I have my heated seat on right now. It works. The only thing that I noticed isn't working is the driver's mirror isn't functioning right now, which I just hit the folding mirror button. So I believe there's a power issue to this one because it's not folding or going up and down. So we'll have that looked at and report back if that is fixed. Tried the air conditioning. Air conditioning works great. We tried all the wipers, all the lights. Everything is working as it should. We brought this vehicle in from the US, and to get registered in British Columbia for the last owner, it had to be safety certified. So it had to go through end to end and make sure everything was working as it should. We're going to return the vehicle back to the US, so you'll get it on a US title. The auction will take place when the vehicle is already titled in the US, and will be for sale out of Blaine, Washington. We can assist with any shipping, but we will have the vehicle there and ready to drive away or ship away from Blaine. I have no concerns with how it drives. Obviously there's a little bit of noise from having the roof mounted tent there, but for the most part it drives exactly as you would expect.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth mentioning as well. These are becoming harder and harder to find in the US, and very much so in Canada with low mileage like this one. 100,000 miles for something this age isn't always considered super low mileage, especially when you're talking about collector cars. But I think when you're talking about these vehicles, it certainly is. Finding one with 100,000 miles is not super easy, as these were usually bought. They were fairly expensive, and they were usually bought for hauling the family around and road trips and such. And now that they're becoming a little bit more coveted by Toyota enthusiasts and off-road enthusiasts, they make a really good platform for overlanding vehicles and long haul and camping and outdoor activities. So they tow pretty well. They've got good power with the V8. There's tons of room on the interior. Yeah, if you've at all thought about adding something like this, a really capable four-wheel drive. It is two-wheel drive, and then it has you can shift it into 4-high, and it does have low range as well, and it's all push button there on the dash. Yeah, we'll do a walk around video as well, and we'll show you the exterior of the truck and around the interior more. But if you have any questions, please reach out to us, silverarrowcars.com, or you can use the contact seller button in the auction. And in regards to shipping, we can get the vehicle anywhere it needs to go, so you just let us know where you're at. If you need a shipping quote, you can use the button in the auction, or you can contact us if you've got something a little bit more particular or a harder place to get the vehicle to.
I just shifted into four-wheel drive, and you can see now it's in 4-high, so it engages into four-wheel drive as it should.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the walk around.